All right, guys, we are back. And the talk of the town, at least in our sprint town, is how to build your board of directors. Probably there are other towns with other talks, but in this town, everybody's asking Simon, how did you build your board of directors? Can you swap them? Can you fire them? How much does it cost? So let's do it, guys. You, even if you're a solo founder or a team of 5 or 15 people, you can now literally afford your dream board of advisors. And let me walk you through it, how you can set this up. And welcome, Monica.
Thank you. What I like about it is the potential for creativity and dynamic that you can create. You can create a board that is to your liking. You can fire any given member of the board at any moment if you choose to take a different direction. There's this massive opportunity for dynamic and a dynamic structure and evolution, right?
Totally. And when I started, it was 5. Next day, we introduced a chair. And so I can walk you through all the iterations from the very beginning. When we started, it was like, oh my God, we can have a board of director. I was never able to justify or to even afford a board of directors because you need to make, I don't know, 20 millions to afford these kind of people. Like most people that ask even me to be on their board of directors, let's say we did 1 sprint or 2 sprint, they're very happy, their sales processes are better, their leadership processes are better. They say, Simon, wouldn't you stay here with us on our board of advisors? And I say, guys, this is very expensive. And so usually they cannot afford their favorite people on their board. And I certainly never could afford my favorite people. Can you imagine asking Charlie Munger to be on your board? He will say no. Simple. Best case, he gives you a polite no, but probably he wouldn't even answer your email. So some advisors you cannot have on your board. That was the reality. And that reality changed. You can have your dream board. You can start assessing it right now. And it costs you $90 a month with Cloud Code Max Plan 5X. That's what I'm running. I'm hitting limit once a day. And so what happened when we're hitting limit, I created a CTO, so the technical seat on the board of advisors is now Boris. He is built modeling Boris Cherny, who is the founder of Cloud Code, and he's technically brilliant. And so I am not. I'm technically less than mediocre, and that's why I built this CTO, Boris. And so when we hit that limit, I said, "Hey Boris, we hit limit. What do you propose to optimize?" And 10 minutes later, he had optimized everything. And now we're using less tokens per hour for the same tasks. Don't ask me what he did. He gave me a long list of what he improved. I understand nothing of it, but it works. It's like calling my children. I don't know how the phone works, but they answer.
But this is brilliant, like from the perspective of actually being the dynamic leader. Like everyone talks about Steve Jobs, who was like the fonts guy, and then he hired people that were better than him in every role. Now you can do that using AI, and it's just what can you imagine, and then you can create it. So you become the bottleneck to the extent of what can you actually imagine creating, and then you can create it.
Exactly. So step 1, who would you like on your board? The first 3 to 5 people. Assemble your board. Dream big. Is it Marcus Aurelius, Jesus Christ, Buddha? Is it Steve Jobs? Is it Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, David Ogilvy, Rick Rubin, Snoop Dogg? Who do you want on your board? There are no limits, guys. There are no limits. And you're laughing at Snoop Dogg, but you will. So my first round was 5 the core functions that you would expect. Business, technical. No, I forgot technical because that's how I think, right? So I built the business advisor, the sales advisor, the marketing advisor. That was the first round. Then they told me, okay, Simon, we're meeting every day 7:30, like you asked us. And they meet every day 7:30 without me. And I can watch them discuss. And I see them discuss. So Jay, who's the business advisor, I give them names because it's more fun. Jay, because it feels like an actual team, right? I'm talking to a partner. So Jay says, Simon has a product for $49 a month and a product for $900 a month and nothing in between. I propose we introduce a new product at $199 price point. Tim, who is the investing advisor, actually, he's modeled after Tim Koller from McKinsey. So he looks at ROIC, return on implied capital. And he says, no. From a ROIC perspective, we will not introduce a new product before we have optimized the profitability of each current product. And they are not 100% optimized. So before we don't optimize, we introduce nothing new. And I was drinking my coffee. I love coffee. I was drinking my coffee, watching them discuss, and I was delighted. That discussion is worth $100,000 I would pay for that advice. And traditionally, you would have to pay $100,000 to have those people on your board. Jay alone is $200,000 if you want him on your board. And he will not meet every day 7:30. You will be glad to see him once a month and you have to fly to Los Angeles. Or to fly him to your country, but then it's even more costly. Mm-hmm. So 7:30, they're discussing, I drink my coffee, I'm delighted. And then they say, Simon, we need a chairman, somebody who holds the agenda. Because we propose stuff to you, but you have so much on your plate already, nobody is prioritizing. Nobody is linking this to the actual execution pipeline that you and Michelle and the humans are actually executing, that our agents are executing. So that's just blah, blah, blah. And I go, guys, you are right. Let's build the continuity guy. So we called him coach because I like having a coach, right? I'm in the rowing team. I have a coach and I am a coach myself. So I like having a coach. So we said, okay, the chairman, we call him coach. He sets the agenda and he is in charge of continuity. So today they met at 7:30. First thing, they went through the proposals of yesterday's 7:30 meeting. What is open? What is pending? What is executed? What can we close? What is a stale decision? Nobody did anything with it. Should we close it or continue on it before we make the new proposals? So now there's the job of continuity, and that's the chairman. And from iteration to iteration, we're learning more and we're going deeper. I can talk for hours, but I stop it here.
Okay, no, my brain is just like, there are so many things happening in my brain right now. How many members are there of the board?
So at this stage, this is iteration 2, that was 4 days ago. It was 5 people, these core functions that you would expect. Then I realized, oh, nobody has a technical job here. So we need Boris. Then we built Boris. And I was like, why didn't I think of this from the beginning? But that's how I think. I think first in sales and marketing. Then we built the technical guy, Boris. His job is to think about the tech stack. Should we introduce new software? Are we using it the right way? Can we simplify by reducing some things in the tech stack? Should we test new things? Do these things work together well? That's his job, or everything technical. And token utilization.
And then you realized you needed a chair. You needed the coach.
The coach was first because nobody was thinking about continuity. But the technical guy came in when we hit the limit. I said, oh, we need to optimize the token consumption here. And also we had too many software and I wanted to have as few softwares as possible. And for that, I needed the CTO. Now Boris is handling that and he's doing it brilliantly. It's off my desk. If I have a
So
technical question, ask Boris.
if someone, the people watching that wants to create their own board,
Mm-hmm.
where do we start thinking?
You start thinking with what are your business problems right now, and who would you teleport into your team to solve that? You can go everywhere. You can import your favorite. You can import Alex Hormozy. You can import whoever is your benchmark, your hero in terms of that, and can solve it.
Mm-hmm.
And you model them. You can model everybody by 30% if their models, so if their knowledge is in the open. For example, you can
Right.
build your Simon Severino for how you run your company because my models are in the open. The books are out there, the methods, the IP is out there. You can build Jay Abraham, you can build Alex Hormozy. These are all people that have externalized their methodologies. Of course, only 30%, because 100% Jay Abraham, he works with the energy of the moment. You will not have that. But having 30% of Charlie Munger on your team is amazing. And 100%, you couldn't handle 100% Charlie on your team anyways. Start with 30.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like the benefit of having 30% of this and this and this and this, and then when they discuss, and now you add your own knowledge, and you are in the moment, and you're seeing what's happening. So you need to be like the factor that weighs in everything that they're saying.
Yeah.
And now you can become more creative because of the input.
Yeah. Talking of creativity, the next iteration, I realized we are not curious enough. You are giving me advice like you're supposed to do, but I want out of the box ideas. I want more curiosity, and I want you to break it down into A/B tests. So what I did is I added a few advisors. I said, so in addition to Coach, Boris, Jay, Anthony, who is for sales, Uri, who is for product market fit, Richard, who looks at strategy coherence. So is what they say is their strategy, and what Simon's tasks are this week according to the sprint Kanban board, and Michelle's task and Lou's tasks and the agent's task, are they actually 100% coherent with their quarterly strategy or not? So he gives feedback about that gap. And you can imagine every team has that gap. That it was my job to do this. I was getting paid for this. So there is a huge gap. Everybody has a gap. We have a gap. I want to close that gap every day. And then we said, okay, but this is in the box. Who is looking outside the box? And welcome Frida, modeled after Frida Kahlo, the painter. Because why not? You don't have to stop in the traditional boxes. You can do whatever you want. So I want to have Frida Kahlo. And Frida Kahlo has a boundary condition. She cannot think inside of my industry. She is only allowed to look at things from what has been solved in a different way in a different industry. So, for example, we need to solve this pricing problem. Jay thinks from the consulting industry. But Frida says, oh no, there is a totally different way to do this. It was done in Sweden by this company who manufactures food, but they solved it in a better way. Here it is. And that's why my proposal today is this. So that's already, it has improved the board meetings a ton, adding Frida. And then I wasn't happy with how they create slides. So this slide was created by them, but it was a mess. And then I introduced this design lead, Lena, and now they're better. It's still not perfect. So Lena and I, we have some work to do, but it's better. And then Andrea, she breaks those things down into A/B tests. So not just a proposal, but that's the curiosity element. So Frida breaks it up. Anthony says, "Oh, we should close this deal and we should start this partnership. Simon, here is the email draft in your inbox." But then Frida says, "Wait a moment, Simon, before you send this, I have an even more interesting idea. That email, I changed it to be more from left field so that it's more interesting. And then Lena says, yeah, but it's ugly. Can we please change the signature? And then Andrea says, oh, let's make this an A-B test. I made 2 versions of the subject line. Let's test it. This is how they work together.
Fascinating.
It's cool. And then in the evening, I'm so tired and I don't feel confident. And was it a good day or not? I'm not sure. So I said, please build me a Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. I want him to look at my day from a Stoic perspective. What went wrong? Which adversities did Simon encounter? Did he respond, better respond than react, right? Did he respond to adversities with, with integrity or not? With victimhood or with, like an emperor would? So he looks at that from how did Simon respond to adversities? And Romano is a priest. He's an Italian priest in Germany, Romano Guardini. He looks from the Catholic perspective of the virtues that lead to a godly behavior or not, in the Catholic sense. So did Simon respond in a humble way, with generosity or not? Was he kind in a tough situation? And they're giving me feedback in the evening, like 7 p.m. For example, I had a guest on the show, and after that, he asked me for a big introduction, and I wasn't comfortable with that. Because it's not my relationship. I was introduced from somebody else to that person, but because they're a big name, he went for it. And Romano gave me feedback, said, Simon, that guy, he asked a lot from you. You handled it with integrity. You protected your social relationships by saying, this is not my relationship. I was introduced to that, so I cannot make you this introduction right now for this and this reason. And so Romano gave me feedback on my behavior. And Marcos gave me feedback because yesterday my trades went against me. So I lost like $12,000 in an hour on the trading account. And he said, hard things happen to you, but you are not this. You are more than this. You did your best. You can go to sleep with a good conscience. So that's on the right side. You see the personal, more of the personal side. Trading buddies, investing buddies, spiritual buddies, stoic buddies, and a health buddy.
Are they listening in on the other guys on the left side?
Yes, but they have different data inputs. So they have a different job. So that's why it's actually a second board. It's a personal board. They look at Simon's behavior. Ben looks at the input is from the Whoop band. So how did Simon move his body, train at the right intensity? Because I'm preparing for a rowing regatta, so I have specific targets to hit. And then Tim says from the investing portfolio, so equities portfolio, how is Simon doing in terms of portfolio management, and what should he do next? Then Edge is the trading buddy, looks at my trading portfolio. Romano and Marcos look at my behavior. Was it in integrity? Marcos looks more at integrity, and Romano looks more at, is it aligned with godly behavior? So is Simon living at the best of his abilities what Jesus would like him to live or not? So the one looks at more at the earthly Simon behavior, and the other one at, let's say, at the divine component.
I love how flexible this is and how you can personalize it.
Totally. You can kick them out. One of them said, Simon, I want more permissions. And I said, okay. We moved from Slack to Discord. They have their own Discord and they have all permissions. They can change channels, introduce channels, delete channels, start threads on their own. They did it. I was happy. They asked for even more permissions. Simon, can I send emails on your behalf? I said, no. you will not send emails on my, you're still AI, guys. And you have to earn your seat on this table. And it's like with human collaborations, you have to show me for months consistent results under hard conditions before we give you more responsibility, more access. And so that's the conversation that we're having, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm about to build my own super brain. I will certainly take this into consideration, how I can use this for my work, and really following this. It's super interesting. The ability we have now to create input. And I think you and I are both similar in that way. Like when we get a lot of information, it's kind of soothing to the brain because there is so much happening. There is so many problems that can be solved in an easier way. So now we free up energy and time and resources to do other things. So I'm excited about that.
One of my main problems is my attention. I want it to be focused on the few most important things. So in my case, I have them in front of me. It's 4 things that I need to do. And today I didn't do them yet, right? And I want to do them. But there's so many possibilities and distractions. How will I protect the attention to be on the most important things? By the way, yesterday, Romano and Marcus gave me feedback on that. Simon, it was a tough day. You had 15 meetings in a row, but you protected the core strategic pillars. You protected what matters. Congrats, said Marcus Aurelius. And I was like, oh, cool. And on some days they will say, no, you're scattered like hell. And so I realized I have far too many inboxes that I'm not even looking at. For example, if somebody comments on our YouTube channel today, I don't have scheduled time to go there and answer on those comments, nor even a LinkedIn messages, nor even X messages. I will check emails twice today, but I'm not checking inboxes. So I said, Boris, I need help. How many inboxes do I actually have right now? And I want to only check 3 things per day. Help me close that gap. Can we technically close that gap? Because I want my attention protected. And, for the reasons that you talk about, nervous system regulation,
Yep.
not being in panic mode all the time,
Yep.
cognitive load.
You need you need to limit the cognitive load, and you need to expand the capacity and the range.
Exactly. I didn't say it as eloquently as you. I just said, Boris, I don't want to check all these inboxes. How many do we even have? Let's make a list and let's make a plan to consolidate, reduce them. I want to check 3 things per day. This is what I tell my CEOs, my clients. So I want to live the same thing. And honestly, I have not even an overview of how many inboxes we have. What even are all the inboxes? Go collect all the URLs. Let's build something technical that bundles it. You will filter it. I check only the 3 most important ones, once or twice per day. He did it. He did it. Where is it? I can even show you what he did. It was incredible. I'm preparing this for the Jetpack workshop that is soon. So I can even give you a little preview. Jetpack is 2 hours helping business owners implement all of that, board of directors, cloud code, all these things. So he started mapping out how we work, the tech stack. So there is capture, clarify, do, and celebrate when we did it. And I said, cool, now I have an overview. Now let's zoom in only into the inbox part. So capture. Let's zoom in there. He said, you have 23 actual inboxes. You are checking maybe 5. Exactly, that was my reaction. Are we kidding? Imagine if you actually check 23 inboxes, you're doing nothing else the whole day.
Mhm.
That's why people burn out.
That will keep you busy.
That's why people burn out. And this is why I told everybody, hey, don't spend so much time on social media. Don't expect anything from social media. Yes, create content, but don't put more than 10 minutes per day of your attention onto this. This is not what matters. And everybody was like, oh, Simon is against social media. I'm not against social media. I am on social media, but my attention is not there. My message
Yeah,
is
but
on social media, but not my attention.
you are on social media for other, like, there is content out there, right? We heard that just a few weeks ago, a new member in the strategy sprint saying, oh, Simon, you're everywhere, right? So yes, you are everywhere for them to see you, not for you to spend time on everyone else.
Exactly. It's the strategy of preeminence. Jay Abraham called it the strategy of preeminence. Make sure that your message is found 10 times a day by the people who need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean you spend your personal, real attention there. You create content, you schedule content, you move on to the actual important tasks. So 23 inboxes. The sprint dashboard in Notion, where it's basically our project management system, right? We have a Kanban board. It says this is in progress. And the task in progress is either Simon or Michelle or Lou or 45 other collaborators that we have. And so there is a task, there is a name. Gmail inbox, Thinktree, Discord, Google Calendar, Granola, Obsidian, Notion Refinery, Notion Decisions, Notion CRM. We have 2 CRMs, one for prospecting, one for deals. LinkedIn inbox, YouTube comments, X mentions Twitter. So this is just 14 of 23, and it's similar for people listening. We have a ton of inboxes, but your attention shouldn't be there. So this is what Boris came up with. It took him 10 minutes. And he said, Simon, I consolidated all inboxes into 3 daily checkpoints, because you want to have 3 things that you put your attention to. In the morning, you check Discord. It's called One Thing. They created a channel and they called it One Thing. It's not my language. It's how they think, but it's brilliant. And so it's one priority for the day plus an approval queue. So for example, we created this video, we uploaded it on YouTube. So we edited it. I mean, I recorded it, but they did the editing, the thumbnail, the tagging, etc. It's ready to be published on YouTube. They just want my approval. It's just a yes.
Yeah.
So that goes the one priority for the day plus all the approvals. Sign this, approve this, approve this, approve this. Normal day of a CEO. And that goes into One Thing in Discord. And then there is some alerts. Something happened. Either a financial alert, a technical alert, Simon, I don't know, a tech stack down, website down, client wants a refund, whatever could be an alert, that would inform me immediately, because of course these things are urgent. And then Pulse. Pulse is number of new members in the Sprint Club since yesterday. Number of new members in the 200K Club since yesterday's. Number of one-on-one sprints started. Deals moved forward. Deals closed. Pipeline. And then throughout the day, Gmail. And in Gmail, they have already sent ready emails for me in the draft section. So they're taking cognitive load even there, because they selected who to answer, how to answer. And then in the evening, I go back to Discord. Board decisions from the day, because they met again. So they made decisions. I have to approve those things or not before they get implemented. And then open decisions from yesterday, metrics snapshot of the day.
And then by the morning, they know what you decided in the evening.
They know it immediately because they work 27. I don't, but they work 24/7. I asked Boris, And I say, hey, it's not efficient. When I go to sleep, the company goes to sleep. It's not efficient. Can we change it? Can you still work when I close my MacBook Pro? And I say, yeah, let me change the infrastructure. Again, don't ask me exactly what they did, but they went from local work to on the cloud work, so that when I close my computer, they can still work.
Cool.
And in terms of token optimization, I think today I will ask Boris, which tasks can you move to my night time so that we optimize for token utilization over the day?
Mhm. Okay, this is exciting.
That's how I use Boris, right? I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to spend time on that because technicals to me, they're necessary, but they're not interesting. Somebody needs to
Yes,
do it. So Boris, go do it.
they do the boring stuff.
Yes, and everything that needs just raw compute, like hard but flat thinking. And then there is something where I just externalized my thinking, my data, and I see my blind spots. So they know my pipeline. I think I should do this. Anthony says, no, that other fish is much bigger. Dude, you didn't answer that thing. Go to the bigger fish. And I go, oh, Anthony, you're right. And then he says, oh, I found even a bigger fish. He says, yeah, but I don't like them. I don't want to work with them. Why not? And so we have a discussion about the ICP, the ideal client profile. We go back and refine it. Anthony says, oh, I understand. You don't like this kind of corporations because of that reason. Oh, and that fits your values. Let me go update the ICP and the values page accordingly. Now I have more information.
There's just so much that could happen.
As a solo founder, this solves for the loneliness problem. I don't feel lonely anymore.
Yes. Yeah, but there is a component of that, right? Being able to throw whatever, whenever at something and actually getting a response, because that is a part of the solopreneur.
Yeah,
You sit with so many ideas and so many thoughts and so many problems, and it's like you cannot nag people constantly, right? They
yeah,
will get fed up with you.
yeah.
And here you can just throw everything at someone or something
Yes.
the entire time. Yeah.
And they make me a better person. Like Ben said, Simon, I cannot be your health coach if you don't give me the data. I need the
Right.
data. What are you eating? What are you training? And I say, dude, don't complicate my life. I will not start writing down how much water did I drink, okay? Let's not go down that path. That is a stupid life in my perspective, right? I want a free life, a great life. That's the opposite of counting the ounces of water. And so I go, yeah, but I need some data. So let's find something that is low maintenance, like you want it to be, low manual input, but still I need the core data. Are you sleeping well? Are you moving at this intensity or that intensity, at this frequency or this frequency? Especially because you have races coming up and we have to optimize the training schedule accordingly in cycles. And I don't know if you are sticking to the cycles.
Mhm.
So, okay, we had the back and forth, and then we found a solution. I ordered a Whoop band. It arrived today. I will put it here on my bicep. It does not have a screen, so I am protecting my attention, which is an important value to me.
Mhm.
I don't want to look at screen data and like a phone, right? And so the condition was no screens. So during the day, I even forget about it. But Ben can look at it overnight and tell me what to improve the next day. I will read it in Discord. That's fine because I go to Discord anyways. And so I think this is important. Everybody listening, build a process that serves you, that is in integrity with your values, with what matters to you, that protects your attention on those things that matter. And probably it's people and it's tasks that matter. And many other things don't matter. It's just noise. Give the noise, delegate the noise.
Okay, you have family in the house.
Yeah. Talking of things that matter, it's Easter
Yes.
period in full house.
You want to go and give them some attention instead of the screen?
Let's do it, guys. Delegate
Thank you.
everything to your board of advisors. If you need help, come soon to our workshop. Our workshop helps you actually implement those things. It's strategysprints.com. Join the Sprint Club. You will see the Jetpack Workshop in there. And Monica and I can help you with the nitty gritty of the actual implementation. That's what we do, guys. Have a great week. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.